Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. All these days we have been trying to read one prayer or another, as all Mahatmas keep on telling us. Prayer enables us to connect ourselves with Him. The first step towards indwelling reality. What is required of us is to feel the nearness first. And prayer helps a lot in feeling the nearness. People like us who are not full-timers, who have been kept busy in various activities. At the same time, somewhere in the corner of mind, faith in God, concept of God, subservience to God, all these things are there. They are suitably worded prayer. When it is rendered with the right concept, definitely with a view to establish the communion with Him, helps us a lot. That is what we found in so many prayers. Purpose is to feel the nearness. Why should we feel the nearness? Papa, in his small book, Glimpses of the Divine Vision, as we take the first chapter, he says, try to enter into the mysterious origin of your and the world life. To know who you are in reality is the real question. To arrive at this truth, you have to, by a systematized process of thought and discipline, transcend all human limitations set by body, mind, and intellect, and then embarking on the realm of the spirit, realize your immortal, changeless, blissful nature. This constitutes religion. Religion is not to be understood in the way in which it is understood today. Mahatmas and Papa specifically given us religion means finding back to our original source. Pujya Swamiji used to say, going back to our real home. That is religion. So how to go back to my real home? I should know my origin. This is how first the spiritual journey starts. That prayer to know who you are in reality is the real question. Because I feel I am this name and form. I am what is identified by others as I am. If we carefully analyze, we have never bothered to understand who we really are. I am so and so, so and so. No? That's what we see. What are you? Who are you? Suppose we ask, we say the name and the profession we have. Just imagine. Because at no time we have made an effort to know who our reality. What is projected and what is identified by others, real question. Every one of us can look back and ask ourselves. Suppose somebody asks, what do we say about ourselves? Immediately we say our name, form, our position, our relationship, so-called status, anything that is external. Never have I looked within to find out where from this sense of I-ness comes. Only when I am taken to a spiritual preceptor, slowly, they give us in so many forms. For example, when we are drawn to Papa here, it's a small book. First, first page, is a compilation from his letters by a great devotee. Hands off to them because the Harishri is given in the first chapter. I have not so far applied my mind. When we read, we will think about it. We are always referring ourselves to what others have understood. This should be very clear to us. So prayer helps us to know our original reality. So original reality is there, presupposes. We believe in the words of Shastras and masters. There is a reality and there is a projected individuality. So Papa wants us to enter into. So for the entrance first is prayer. We try to bring all his attributes. We try to bring in as many dimensions as possible that will give us clarity of his existence within. And various Shastras has also come. So here he is specific. To arrive at this truth, you have to, by a systematized process of thought and discipline. Each one is unique. There can't be any general prescription. The normal guidance is there, no doubt. How will the mind react? How will the intellect react? How will the body react? It changes from person to person. Same situation, you and may react differently. So we have to now evolve out chalk out a systematized process of thought and discipline. The word is very important. Normally, we all jump into some activity. What somebody says, we will just follow. All right, initially, very rare people only question themselves like Rama Bhagavan. We follow normally when a spiritual institution is there, when we are taken to the spiritual institution, when we try to hear a master's word, when we happen to read someone, we are enthused, inspired, we go there, we straight away try to follow what they are doing. And in that process, we, to be very frank, maybe a crude statement, we have forgotten the purpose for which we are. When we hear this, to know who you are in reality is the real quest. Papa brings it out because that is how he traveled. He did not follow any traditional method. He did not join any organization. He did not have a guru with whom he traveled a lot, with whom he spent a lot. No, absolutely he was an independent of his own. So all these things, question sharp, and he is trying to find out the answer by anything. And many of his musings, something very nice. Many are there. How God came into my life. The human being is gifted with reason, which can be best utilized by him to develop a keen aspiration for God, backed up with intense dispassion for sense enjoyment. The human being is gifted with reason, which can be best utilized by him to develop a keen aspiration for God, backed up with intense dispassion for sense enjoyment. So he is bringing out how he moved from his inward journey. We are not talking about the outward. Outward, everybody knows. Inward journey. Now, what is the aim of life? It is happiness. This cherished aim is fulfilled by realizing God, who is eternal happiness. Happiness, eternal happiness. The reason helped him. The pleasures I derived from the objects of the senses were not only transitory, but were also accompanied by pain and grief, a fact I came to know too well. So I engaged myself in an all round effort to divert the mind from the ephemeral objects to the eternal source of life, God. God, who is the absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss, is within me. Withdrawing the mind from the unreal, external things of life, I let it flow continuously towards Him through a steady remembrance brought about by a ceaseless chanting of His holy name. Constant remembrance purified and controlled my mind. It is not merely chanting. Now the mysterious grace of the Guru, which awakened me in the first instance to see God, completed its task by removing the mask of ignorance which enveloped my soul for ages, with the result that a flood of illumination poured out, permeating my body, senses, and all the world. In this splendor, my soul was lost, individual soul, followed by the dawn of a cosmic consciousness and the knowledge of my still and all-pervading Atman, self. Yet another vision, more exalted, more perfect, and more joyous, awaited my illumined self. And this is the fusion of the Atman with the universal manifestation. In other words, I realized that the Atma and the universe are one. This magnificent vision and experience, based on the realization of the absolute self, transformed me, the human being, into the veritable embodiment of God in all its aspects. As my soul stepped from the animal into the human, it is now stepped from the human into the divine, Purushotama, the spiritual come physical evolution, the grandest finale, the supreme fulfillment of God's will, to reveal himself in all his sublimity in this human being. Verily, God is the seeker, God is the sought. This is his inscrutable Leela. Truly, my soul and God, Jiva and Brahman are all one, all victory to him. Yet, the highest spiritual possibilities are not exhausted. The sweetest and dearest relationship with him, near and personal, which I maintained all along the initial stage and aspiration, has at present become real, intimate, permanent. He is now my constant companion, as a careful mother and a beneficent master, in the face of man, beast, and bird, nay, of all creatures and things also. I behold him, my beloved, again all victory. This is how a lot of inner preparation has been done. This is not to be lost sight of. That is why he wrote like this. Try to enter into the mysterious origin. Now, when we talk of where from the sound comes, where from the power to hear, the power to see, the power to think, where from it comes, what is the origin? First, I should try to understand the origin of myself. And then we find that revealment helps us to know the origin of the entire manifested world. And the third one is to maintain the relationship. So long as we are embodied, this relationship is maintained. And again, in order that we don't forget or neglect the most important aspect of the spiritual journey, to know who you are in reality is the real question. That is why we have been chanting, rendering all the poems. Some way, not all the words, not all prayers, but some prayer will definitely help us. In order to develop this constancy in our nearness to God, there are ways. If you don't want to go very deeper into it, there is a prayer connecting up with the grosser things. The sun shines for others, trees bear fruit for others, rivers flow for the good of others, cows yield milk for others. Human birth is likewise meant for doing good to others. We have a most important and compelling work to do. For each of us is someone that God is working through. Yesterday also we saw, Shivananji's because each one of us is someone that God is working through. God gave us willing, caring hands to perform some helpful deed. God gave us sympathetic words to answer someone's need. God gave us soft hearts to aid another along the way. God gave us smiles and laughter to brighten someone's day. God gave us all these treasured gifts for helping one another. God works through us all so that we care for each other. It's a simple prayer. Not much we have all things which are seen, which are perceived by us. We don't require extra thinking. Plain fact. We are, through that, we are trying to see the great provider. We are not seeing you. We are trying to have some idea about the great provider who has provided everything, who has been providing till this moment. We normally take everything as granted. So Papa wants all of us to go back to our origin. When Papa wants all of us to know who we are in reality, we first take some guide, some clues, some hints about the great provider he has provided everything. Nothing is mine. Slowly I start the inward journey. When I start analyzing the reason, he said the reason helps us. The human being is gifted with reason, which can be best utilized by him to develop a keen aspiration for God, backed up with intense dispassion for sense enjoyments. I keep on watching, right from my childhood onwards. Everything I get attached to, fascinated into, I try to possess it, enjoy it, but it is not everlasting. After some time finished, the charm is gone. This is the reason. That is how the dispassion starts. Papa wants every one of us. In order to keep up that tempo, we have been asked to remember him, and for remember him, the chanting came. This foundation was there. Without that foundation, when we start doing it, Papa himself has said, even if you chant for 100 years, it will not be helpful. Because there he is giving us a PhD thesis. The real purpose of chanting will be attained only when we know that it is he who is seated within me, whose name I am chanting, and who is making me to chant. I am chanting the name of one who is within me and who is making me to chant. The great provider is seated within me and he is providing me all the facilitating me to chant his name. That I am not there, the so-called I am not there. That small word, that suddenly, when it is blown up, it gives us the clear vision. Name of one who is within me and who is making me to chant. Where am I? I am not. This is how he says, he was able to see the origin, the real quest. After he scaled the heights, he never used to use the word I. But the compilation of his articles, the book called Divine Life, there are about 20 articles where he uses the word I. That I is not limited to normally what we call as an individual, but a refined personality, an enlightened personality, an awakened personality. It is a joy to go through that. I, as if you're dancing, retaining the sense of individuality through the embodied self, At the same time, identifying himself totally with the all-pervading reality, still he expresses, and there the word I comes. Later on only we need not confuse whether the I has, no, it does not come. It is a refined eye, matured eye. In Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, no, pakka eye, not the kacha eye. When we were led to think, we were prompted to go to one particular sloka in chapter number 13. You know, chapter number 13 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is Kshetra Kshetrajna. In the 33 sloka, Swami Ranganathanji makes a comment. We started with Kshetra, the body, and the Kshetri, the one who knows the body, in the beginning of this chapter. The knower of the body is Kshetrajna, one who knows the body. The body does not know itself. My hand, my face, my leg. We were trying to go through how many organs are there in us. We have no idea, no? In science class, we would have been told. Now we have been told more than 100. Each one is having a distinct job to perform. Tomorrow, if time permits, we will just go through. Today we did not take. Printout has been taken. Each one, without each one, without all these, I don't become full. So to function even as an individual, he has provided the great provider. I have not done anything for it. We simply, we have to, we cannot utter any word after saying that. Something else knows the body does not know itself. There is the subject, the self, the knower, the observer, apart from the body. That is how we started the chapter with the discrimination between the known and the knower. It was also said that the knower in one body is not different from the knower in another body. There is only one knower in all the kshetra. Sri Krishna had said, one infinite self exists in all of us. The bodies are many, but the self is one. But in you, in me, there is also a false self. The self conditioned by the body mind complex, the genetically conditioned self. That makes me separate from you. I become your enemy. I may exploit you. I may kill you. All this because this self is caught up in the body mind complex and cannot escape. The real self will only release love, concern, service, dedication to the world outside. So Papa said, who we are, what is that word? To know who you are in reality is the real question. To know who you are in reality, not this false self. That makes me separate from you. I become one. This is the teaching. Here in this word, Sri Krishna is telling us, Yatha Revihi Prakashayati. Just as the sun illumines Ekaha alone, the sun alone illumines the whole solar system. Nothing else illumines it. About 8,000 million miles across is the spread of the solar light. 4,000 or so million miles will be the frontier of the solar system. The space vehicle Voyager is slowly going out of the solar system. a wonderful human achievement. If that is so, how much space is covered? Billions of miles, all illuminated by one single sun, SUN. That is taken as the example here. Sri Krishna says, just as the single sun illuminates the entire world, meaning thereby the solar system, similarly, Kshetram, Kshetri, Tata, Krishnam, Prakasheti. This Kshetri or the knower of the Kshetra illuminates all Kshetras or bodies. To Arjuna. That is a wonderful last but one verse of this 13th chapter. The stress on unity, the stress on equality is there again and again in the Gita. Ekameva advitiyam. It is one alone and non-dual. There is no second. It is not monism. It is advaita, non-dualism, non-separateness, absence of otherness. So Sri Krishna says, all kshetras or bodies everywhere are illumined by one kshetri or self. What a beautiful conception. Things are many, beings are many, but everywhere there is a kshetri or a kshetrajna. And that is one in you, in me, in all beings. That is the real vision. The one behind the many. The many is deluding us, but there is no plurality in the light that is within. But the different configurations of the body mind complex makes it appear as if there are many selves. Really speaking, there is only one infinite God of the nature of pure consciousness, light of consciousness, lights up everything in the world. Light of consciousness lights up everything in the world. That is the language of the Upanishads. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By its light, the whole universe is lighted. It is the light of all lights. Jyotisham Jyotihi. In verse 17 of this chapter, Krishna uses the word, this expression. It is neither he nor she. We use the word tat, which means that or it. Om Tat Sat. Om, the supreme truth. That is how God is described in a brief utterance. That will come in the following chapter. So, in this last but one verse, you get this idea that all the bodies are illumined by one single self of the nature of pure consciousness. But within the body, when this light gets caught up, it finds itself as separate in a state of ignorance or delusion. Even though we are one with each other, we try to kill each other, to destroy each other, to fight with each other. All that we do because we do not know the truth. This is how Gita represents, sorry, this is how Gita presents this truth. Men and women have passed through so many types of exploitation. All concept of separation is due to delusion or ignorance. We are essentially one. And today the whole world is going in that direction. Even politically and socially, the consciousness is expanding beyond one's own limitation and embracing others in the universe. This is the way of progress of humanity. Vedanta gives you the philosophy behind this modern trend. If the world is to be united, it will need a philosophy. You will get the philosophy in Vedanta and in Swami Vivekananda's literature. Swami Vivekananda especially stresses this point in his lectures in the West. How can we bring about unity in the modern age? Modern age is meant for that. We are already proceeding in that direction. But the philosophy you need for that is in Vedanta. Nowhere else will you get it. We can develop even a very secular philosophy. We don't make a distinction between secular and spiritual in Vedanta. They are only two departments of the same educational process. And so in the Kathopanishads, it is mentioned in this world of manifestation, There is no difference between one thing and another. There is no nanatvam. This has to be inculcated into the people. People must receive this education, and it is slowly coming. How much separation we had before between one human being and another. We thought that one person in a village was entirely separate from another in another village. They belong to two separate tribes. Now, millions of people can feel that they belong to each other. Still, more departments of this idea will take place. There is the trend, evolution towards that harmony, the unity out of which will come world peace. That is what the world is seeking. And so Sri Krishna concludes this chapter with the last words. Kshetra kshetrajnayor evam antaram jnanachakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduhu yanti te param. They who, thus with the eye of knowledge, perceive the distinction between kshetra and kshetrajna, and also the emancipation from the prakriti of being, go to the supreme. All these thoughts were kindled because of Papa's one word: know your reality. We have a projected personality, but the reality has never been plumbed. We have never made any deep efforts to know our reality. We stopped with our projected personality, the Kshetra. But the Kshetrajna is there. Suddenly, in a simple word, Lord Krishna says, to know your body, to know you need the knowing principles. Body by itself cannot. We have seen dead bodies. So the knower of the body is there, no knower of the Kshetra. This is how we start. And that is why Papa is leading us to this 13th chapter. Very important. He says, thus have we propounded in this chapter, Kshetra Kshetratnayor Evam Antaram. The distinction between Kshetra, our body, and the Kshetratna, the knower of the body. This has been given to you, Jnana Chakshu, through the eye of knowledge. You cannot see this unity through the physical eye. You cannot see the character of Kshetra and Kshetratna and the unity of all Kshetratna with the physical eye. You need the eye of knowledge. First is the distinction between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, then the unity of all Kshetrajna, and at the higher level, the unity of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. This is how Vedanta takes us further and further, even to the unity of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. From one, they both have come. At one stage, they bifurcated as the observed and the observer, as subject and object. The eye, for example, is meant to see. See what? See an object. Eye is the seer, and that which is seen is the object. This distinction has come from the same nature. Nature's energies became the object on the one side and subject and the sensory system on the other. This duality is needed for continuing the world evolution. But the truth is that behind both, there is a higher nature, pure consciousness. This is how Vedanta deals with the subject. In normal life, we see an object. The object is separate. I am separate. This ordinary level will remain. You have to go beyond it step by step. That is real education. To remove separateness and to see things in the light of the one. Many seen in the light of the one. That is what Sri Krishna said here. So all these various things and entities are seen centered in that one. Center is there is no circumference. I used to say, Pujya Swami, you also repeated that. Circumference means limiting. There is no circumference. They have all expanded and become what they are today. This is the knowledge which we have to achieve. And that knowledge is called the knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the ultimate reality. So in the last verse it is said, see the distinction between Kshetra and Kshetrajna. We see only the Kshetra. said in the first line. To know who you are in reality is the real question. It is consciousness that makes the eye see. Similarly, the ears hear. All these are possible because of that one consciousness, which is Kshetra. So first you see the distinction. I am not the body. I am the Kshetrajna or knower of the body. This body is only an object. That is the first knowledge we get. Then Jnana Chakshusha, through the eye, different from the physical eye, you get access to greater truths. In Omkarji Maharaj, he saw the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear. These are leading to this Kshetra. Now we find the relevance of the prayer. How does prayer lead us to the inner reality? It is not merely rendering some words, as Gandhiji said, it should not be an empty formula. We try to reflect on the theme and then really make use of the expression in the prayer.